Let me see what I'm going to... Oh, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I feel like, yeah, reaction to, there you go, let's do top 20 separate, forget it. You didn't know we're married to each other. And yes, I hate to relax because my back is killing me again, guys.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Sorry.
Ball.
That was just...
Date. I think we should date sometime, you know.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 celebrities who didn't know we're married to each other.
I'm Mike Butler.
Claire, none of you really want to help me? Just stay. For this list, we're taking a look at celebrities whose marriages have flown under the radar. The couples in question don't have to still be married in order to qualify, though. What's your favorite celebrity couple? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Peter Sarsgaard and Maggie Gyllenhaal.
The idea in this room is to take inspiration from other artists as you make art.
Despite decades of work, numerous film and television roles, and countless awards, this humble couple has successfully managed to avoid becoming fodder for the tabloids. Married since 2009, Peter Sarsgaard and Maggie Gyllenhaal have 2 children together, Ramona and Gloria Ray. The two met shortly after Gyllenhaal's breakout performance in 2002's Secretary.
So with the exception of a few potted plants from the florist, we're flowerless for the first spring in years.
4 years later, they were engaged. Sarsgaard is close friends with Maggie's equally famous brother Jake, and the two have starred in multiple films together. However, other than the short film High Falls, Sarsgaard and Maggie Gyllenhaal have yet to appear in a film together. Perhaps that's the secret to their marital success. Number 19, Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hilary Burton. Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hilary Burton had been together for more than a decade before getting hitched in 2019. The two were introduced by their mutual friends, fellow celeb couple Jensen and Daniil Ackles, and began dating in 2009. Burton had previously worked with Daniil on One Tree Hill, while Jensen knew Jeffrey Dean Morgan from their time on Supernatural.
I want you to watch out for Sammy, okay? And you know who?
Burton and Morgan quickly hit it off, and would later appear in an episode of The Walking Dead together, playing, you guessed it, husband and wife.
I know.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Hilary Burton have 2 children, and live on a farm in upstate New York.
Oh, hi! What's up?
Hey, how are you?
Number 18, Troyan Bellisario and Patrick Adams. Troyan Bellisario and Patrick Adams met while working on the 2009 play Equivocation, and after becoming friends, they started dating. But Bellisario soon ended things. However, Adams refused to let the relationship die, auditioning for a bit part on Pretty Little Liars just so he could be close to his ex. Adams has been quoted as saying, "I prepared for this Pretty Little Liars audition more than I've prepared for anything in my life."
We used to sleep together.
The plan worked, and the two eventually rekindled their romance. They married in 2016 and had their first child 2 years later. The celeb couple isn't afraid to work together either, having shared the screen in 2 episodes of Suits, as well as a couple of short films.
Are you sure? Because you look very familiar.
Oh, that's probably because I've been delivering packages to your office for the last 2 months, but you haven't given me the time of day because you didn't think I was smart enough.
Number 17, Elizabeth Moss and Fred Armisen. Strap in because this next entry gets a little rocky. Elizabeth Moss and Fred Armisen met during a taping of Saturday Night Live in 2008.
Peggy, what time is it?
Don't ask me. I'm just a woman. I'm not allowed to own a watch.
Moss was there to support her Mad Men co-star John Hamm, as well as to participate in one of the
That's my boyfriend talking to me,
time SNL
sorry.
cast member. A whirlwind romance ensued, and 3 months later, the two were engaged. They married 9 months after that. Unfortunately, it was all downhill from experience, quote, extremely traumatic and awful and horrible. For his part, Armisen tends to agree, telling Howard Stern, quote, I think I was a terrible husband. I think I'm a terrible boyfriend. Yikes. Number 16, Paula Abdul and Emilio Estevez. Nowadays, people can simply swipe their finger if they want to go on a date. But in the early 90s, things were a little different. Just ask actor and director Emilio Estevez, who allegedly used to call Paula Abdul
Back
on the
then,
phone to tell her
it's
how much he
way
admired her
more
work.
different. Now
They
you
continued
could
to chat for months before finally getting together for
get
a
away
date
from
in
it now.
1991. Shortly thereafter, the two were engaged and wed in California in 1992. For all intents and purposes, the couple was happy. However, they divorced in 1994. Initially, some believed Estevez had cheated, but the truth was that Abdul wanted kids, and Estevez, who already had two from a previous relationship, did not. Abdul later said, quote, it was heartbreaking for us both. Number 15, Christine Taylor and Ben Stiller.
That's why she haven't been around kids.
2 children, 6 film and television projects, 17 years of marriage. Christine Taylor and Ben Stiller have some seriously impressive stats. The two met in the late 90s while filming a pilot that never saw the light of day, and wed in Hawaii in the year 2000. It was only right that the two would meet while working, as working together would become a bit of a habit. From Zoolander to Tropic Thunder, Taylor and Stiller share an extensive filmography. What would you say your trademark was?
Well, I guess the best is Bruce.
Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to keep them together, with the couple parting ways in 2017. Number 14, Felicity Huffman and William H. Macy. These days, the first question that comes to mind when people think of Felicity Huffman probably isn't who she's married to. At least not after she was caught up in the infamous 2019 college admissions scandal and sentenced to 14 days in prison for her role in what authorities say is the largest college admissions cheating scam ever prosecuted. However, one thing you may be surprised to learn
She
about the
goes
former
to jail
Desperate
for
Housewives
that.
star is that she's been married to fellow actor William H. Macy since 1997. The couple has 2 children together, one of whom was the catalyst for Huffman's involvement in the aforementioned cheating scandal. Anyway, fun fact, Huffman and Macy both have their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So that's cool.
I vow to love who you are and who you become.
Number 13, Allison Brie and Dave Franco. How this celeb coupling managed to keep their relationship under wraps for so long, we'll never know. Allison Brie and Dave Franco were set up by friends, with their first official hookup taking place following a Mardi Gras celebration in 2011. Brie described their first night together in an interview with late-night talk show host Jimmy Fallon in 2020. They started dating shortly thereafter. In 2017, and have been happily married ever since. Brie and Franco have collaborated on a number of projects, including The Disaster Artist and Franco's directorial debut, The Rental. Number 12, Isla Fisher and Sacha Baron Cohen. When funny people unite, sparks fly. At least that was the case when Isla Fisher met Sacha Baron Cohen.
Okay, then I'll take a sports car.
The future Wedding Crashers and Borat stars met in 2002, when Fisher was still a relative unknown, and Baron Cohen was enjoying his first taste of fame thanks to...
Okay, sorry.
Despite both of their careers exploding in the mid-2000s, they never neglected their relationship. Baron Cohen proposed in 2004, and following a brief 6-year engagement, the two got married in Paris in 2010. 3 children, several awards, and a handful of iconic roles later, Isla Fisher and Sacha Baron Cohen are still together. They live in Sydney, Australia. Number 11, Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr.
Not our fault you always get kidnapped.
I do not always get kidnapped.
This iconic 2000s couple met while filming I Know What You Did Last Summer in 1997. However, their first date didn't take place until 3 years later. As the story goes, Gellar and Prinze Jr. were supposed to meet a mutual friend for dinner. When the friend didn't show, they decided to eat together anyway. That dinner showed Prinze Jr. a different side of Gellar, and it drove him crazy. A year later, Prinze Jr. popped the question, and the two married in Mexico in 2002. They welcomed a daughter in 2009, and then a son 3 years later. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. are still going strong to this day.
We're together because we like
Goodbye. Random calls and offers. Hello, built-in spam blocker. Now I can't soak up the sun in peace. Hello, Google Fi. The phone plan that can.
Lindor, made to melt you by the Lind Master Chocolatier.
Make each other laugh.
Number 10, Amber Tamblyn and David Cross. While their relationship has received its fair share of criticism due to their significant age difference, David Cross and Amber Tamblyn seemingly couldn't be happier.
My husband David makes me laugh the most when he shuts up.
Cross, who achieved mainstream success with his offbeat portrayal of Tobias Funke on Arrested Development, began dating his future wife in 2007.
I'm afraid I just blew myself.
It has been noted that Cross was hesitant to make a move on the sisterhood of the traveling pants actress due to their considerable age gap. But once he did, it went better than he ever could have imagined. The two tied the knot in 2012 and had their first child in 2017. Number 9, Christy Brinkley and Billy Joel. With Joel riding a wave of top 40 hits and Brinkley fresh off the success of her role in National Lampoon's Vacation, these two must have been thrilled to make each other's acquaintance back in 1983. They would eventually marry 2 years later. But don't worry if you never realized they got hitched. The two entertainers have been married a combined 8 times. However, for 9 years the power couple made it work. Unfortunately, they split up in 1994, but not before producing a baby girl named Alexa Ray Joel. Thankfully, Billy and Christy remain good friends to this day. Number 8, Lisa Bonet and Jason Momoa. That's right, your favorite Game of Thrones hunk from Season 1 and Denise Huxtable from The Cosby Show are married.
Don't you think you're just blowing this a bit out of proportion?
The two set their ideas way back in 2007, long before Momoa's brutish portrayal of Khal Drogo entered the cultural lexicon. In fact, Bonet and Momoa have been together since 2005 and have 2 children together named Lola Iolani and Nicole Wolf. We don't know about you, but those are some seriously cool names. Probably just a byproduct of having super cool appearance. To say that we absolutely adore this celebrity couple would be a gross understatement.
My wife being a very pretty woman, and she's beautiful, and I love her.
Number 7, Christina Hendricks and Jeffrey Arend. Now, here's one we didn't see coming. Arend, arguably best known for his turn as Joseph Gordon-Levitt's crass best friend Mackenzie in 500 Days of Summer, and Hendricks of Mad Men fame, first met at a party hosted by Hendricks' co-star Vincent Kartheiser.
And listen, don't take this the wrong way, but a girl like you with those darling little ankles, I'd find a way to make them sing.
The two quickly hit it off, with Hendricks asking Arend for his digits that very same night. It didn't take long for them to fall head over heels for each other, and in 2009, they wed in New York City. 2 hard-working actors, they had previously stated that they didn't plan on having children, and by the end of 2019, their divorce was finalized.
I'm freaking out.
Number 6, Rachel Weisz and Daniel Craig. We guess we shouldn't be surprised to learn that super spy James Bond was able to keep his marriage relatively under wraps. Craig and fellow actor Rachel Weisz began dating in 2010 and married just 7 months later. Talk about love at first sight.
I'm not sure I can forgive you, actually, Rachel, because you have come between me and her.
The 2 British actors had known each other for some time before that, but only began seeing each other romantically after working together on the 2011 film Dreamhouse. Oddly enough, the 2 played husband and wife in the movie. If that isn't life imitating art, we don't know what is. Number 5, Uma Thurman and Gary Oldman. These 2 have a total of 7 marriages combined, so we suppose we aren't shocked to learn that one of them was to each other.
Don't be a...
The year was 1990, and Thurman and Oldman were 2 young actors on the rise. They would meet for the first time while filming the crime film State of Grace, and would ultimately exchange vows that same year.
You know, they don't even want to call it Hell's Kitchen no more. Renamed it Clinton.
Unfortunately, the union between the 2 actors was short-lived, with the couple choosing to divorce only 2 years later. Perhaps it was for the best, as both would go on to achieve enormous success in Hollywood. Number 4, Lisa Marie Presley and Nicolas Cage. As far as unlikely marriages go, this one is right near the top of the list. When the daughter of Elvis Presley broke off her engagement to another man, it was because she had recently met Cage at a party.
And there's this beautiful girl standing in the middle of the living room wearing this short leather skirt and this fluffy jacket, and she looks up at me with these big, beautiful, soulful eyes.
However, the singer with the famous dad and the actor with the tumultuous career would not stay together long. Choosing to get married in Hawaii, only 10 days removed from Cage's proposal, the union would last just 108 days. In fact, the time it took them to get divorced was longer than the marriage itself. Number 3. Jennifer Grey and Clark Gregg. If you don't know who Jennifer Grey is, we apologize that you missed out. Star of such films as Dirty Dancing and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, she was one of the 80s biggest draws.
Come here, little boy.
And if he doesn't answer,
Her now ex-husband of almost 20 years is no slouch himself, having appeared in a number of Marvel films as the no-nonsense S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Phil Coulson. The two chose to keep their marriage quiet over the years, which explains why you've never noticed they were an item. However, they did appear together in an episode of The New Adventures of Old Christine, in which their characters go on a date.
You were wrong. He's cute.
Nice to meet you too, Tracy.
That must have been fun to film. However, the couple amicably divorced in 2021. Number 2. Alexis Bledel and Vincent Kartheiser. You know him from Mad Men, and you know her from Gilmore Girls. But did you know that they're married? The two met on the set of Mad Men back in 2012, when Bledel was cast for a 3-episode story arc in which she hooks up with, you guessed it, her future husband's character.
Don't tell me you're not happy right now.
Perhaps it was the steamy scenes the couple shared that ignited their passion. All we know is that 2 years later, they were tying the knot in California. Not long after, they gave birth to their first child in 2015. We hope these two are in it for the long haul because they are one cute couple. Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Emily Van Camp and Josh Bowman. These revenge co-stars are still going strong. Helen Hunt and Hank Azaria. 2 iconic actors and a 1-year marriage. Alexis Denisoff and Allison Hannigan. Sandy Rivers and Lily Aldrin are married? Madonna and Sean Penn. This relationship had more ups and downs than a roller coaster. Jim Carrey and Lauren Holly. Comedy brought them together, but not for long. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings
I don't want
and
to make
switch
this
on
video too long.
notifications. Number 1. Adam Brody and Leighton Meester. Damn you, Adam Brody! You had one job to do, and that was to marry your OC co-star and longtime on-screen girlfriend, Rachel Bilson. Alas, both Brody and Bilson ended up with others, and ironically enough, they're both actors. Brody fell for Leighton Meester while filming a movie together in 2010, and they married 4 years later. Bilson caught feelings for Hayden Christensen on the set of Jumper in 2008. Though they were engaged and had a daughter together, Summer Roberts and Anakin Skywalker separated in 2017.
David, if you don't want to tell me everything, that's fine.
Alright guys, now I'm gonna head to jump off here,
In all
so
honesty, though,
I will
the
see you in
endings
my
are
last one, so I'll see you then.